Hey, do you like weird movies? You do? Have you heard of Vinegar Syndrome? Find them online at www.vinegarsyndrome.com. Vinegar Syndrome is one of the leading exploitation and grindhouse preservation and distribution companies in the world. They've got a simple 3-step process that I call the 3 R's: recover, restore, and release. Vinegar Syndrome has an amazingly large film archive consisting of thousands of 35 and 16mm negatives and prints, and are actively finding films that are underappreciated, undervalued, and underseen. So many of their releases have never seen the light of day since VHS, and they're restoring them to all their glory. Some of these films do not have the right to look as good as they do, but they do. I'm looking at you, corpse grinders. Vinegar Syndrome has their own method of restoration where their goal is to recreate the theatrical experience as best as they can. With their own in-house lab, they scan, color grade, and restore each title personally. You'll never see any grain reduction and digital trickery on their discs. Vinegar Syndrome is a very exciting label, and we're proud to have them as a sponsor. They've been with us since the beginning, and we love them for it. Check out their website today and pick up your copies of Rudy Ray Moore's Dolomite films, just in time for the new Netflix movie Dolomite Is My Name, starring Eddie Murphy. Also available is Hell Comes to Frogtown, starring Rowdy Roddy Piper, James Hong's The Vineyard, Pledge Night, Lust in the Dust, starring Divine, Putney Swope, the Amityville Cursed Collection, and much, much more. Also, don't forget to pre-order your copy of Tammy and the T-Rex in glorious 4K Ultra High Definition or Blu-ray, and the Angel Collection. Once again, be sure to visit them at www.vinegarsyndrome.com and grab yourself something cool. Let them know your good friend Michael sent you. Yeah, early on in the show, we used to struggle to get to an hour.
Right.
Now we can do an hour with easy.
Yeah, if anything, I try and, I worry that, I'm more worried about us going too long than not long enough.
Oh, see, I'm not, everyone says that. I don't know.
I don't stress about it. It's just that if anything, I never worry about us not going long enough.
I have so many friends who are like, oh, I try to keep my show at about 45 minutes. I was like, why? It's a podcast. You can start and stop it whenever you want.
That's the criticism that, I never understood that, well, you should cut it into 2 episodes then. It's like,
no.
Or you could hit pause.
Yeah.
You really need that conclusion before you, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Someone said that about Cannibal Holocaust episodes. Like, oh, this should be 2 episodes. Why?
Yeah.
Or like when people were complaining that the episode lengths for the last season of Stranger Things was like 1.5 2-hour episodes, and I was like, so you just want more if you cut it up, you're watching the same amount of content, just fucking pause it. Pause it after a scene. Yeah. That's what we do. It's like if we can't finish, it's like, okay, let's finish this scene, so that way, if anything, we know where to pick up from.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. No one's complaining about the length of fucking Last of Us. Their episodes are long.
Right. God, I love that show. Every goddamn episode is so good.
It happened. It just happened to be where I'm actually playing the second game right now as we're watching the show. So Amanda will sit because I don't know if you ever played the game, but it's extremely cinematic in itself. And Amanda will just sit there and get really engrossed into me playing.
Yeah.
It's great.
I did. No, I'm not going to remember. I watched 3 things back to back, and there was a character connection between each one. I can't remember what the third connection was, but the 2 between The Last of Us, and I was catching up on The Legends of Vox Machina, which Legends of Vox Machina is the Critical Role animated show starring, one of the stars of that is Ashley Johnson, who does the original voice acting and motion capture acting for The Last of Us.
I think she's supposed to pop up in an episode.
I think so.
They actually cast a lot of the voice actors from the game in the show, just in different roles, obviously.
One of Reina's really funny observations was Pedro always gets cast as the reluctant dad type character taking care of a child and transporting it somewhere.
It's funny. We were watching the most recent episode, and I was like, Pedro Pascal has got some strong Walter Matthau vibes, and I think it's because he's got these fucking jowls that are forming.
You know who he was really reminding me of was I can't think of his name, from Firefly. Mal's character from Firefly.
I don't know the characters that I don't think I ever actually watched the show.
Okay. I'm dead. I gotta.
My levels might have been a little weak in the last one. That might have to be peaked up a little bit. Sorry.
Nathan Fillion.
Oh, I can definitely see that. He's just like he's like a more grizzled version of Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, and they also both have that kind of like Texas accent. In those two respective shows. That.
Whenever I think of Pedro Pascal, I think of this meme I saw of him. It was a picture. It was like a screenshot from Twitter, and someone's like, "Look, I ran into Pedro Pascal at a movie theater, and he's just like, he kind of has this weird face, and he's like his thumbs up or whatever." And he replied back to it. He is like, "I just got really fucked up on mushrooms before going to see Incredibles 2, and you made my day."
Yeah, Pedro.
All right, now we can get on to the topic at hand. We'll start this episode. I've been taking sips of water for the working man. I don't need to do it again.
Yep, I've switched over to water now.
Warning! This movie podcast actually discusses movies. Be aware that it may discuss any of the following elements: endings, surprise twists, unexpected cameos, and all manner of spoilers. If this doesn't appeal to you, why listen to a movie podcast? Without further ado, please enjoy our feature presentation, The Shameless Picture Show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Shameless Picture Show. I am Michael Viers, and with me, as always, is my own personal Hercule Poirot.
Nick Richards.
On this episode of The Shameless Picture Show, we are crossing something that, I know it's on my Shameless, is it on yours?
It is, yeah.
We are crossing something off that is on both of our Shameless. We are talking about Sidney Lumet's, or is it Lumet? I think it's Lumet. I'm not too sure. Sidney, I'm going to say Lumet.
Because it sounds more French.
Yeah, Sidney Lumet. Actually, no, I think it's Lumet. We'll do Sidney Lumet. Sidney Lumet's 1974 mystery film, Murder on the Orient Express. As I said in our first episode, normally I write a little preamble that talks about the movie, its historical context, and all that. I was lazy and did not do that. So instead, our good friends over at Fandango are going to supply me with a synopsis.
Thank you, Fandango.
Having concluded a case, Detective Hercule Poirot, played by Albert Finney, which he's unrecognizable.
Right? I was IMDbing during the film, and I had the same, like, holy fuck, that's Big Fish!
Yeah. Hercule Poirot, that's hard to say, settles into what he expects will be a relaxing journey home aboard the Orient Express. But when an unpopular billionaire is murdered en route, Poirot takes up the case, and everyone on board the famous train is a suspect. Using an avalanche blocking the tracks to his advantage, Poirot gradually realizes that many of the passengers have revenge as a motive, and he begins to hone in on the culprit. So, Murder on the Orient Express was directed by Sidney Lumet, as I had said, with a screenplay by Paul Dean. It is based on the book Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. The film was shot by Jeffrey Unsworth, with music by Richard Rodney Bennett. From 1974, this is Murder on the Orient Express.
Trailer with lots of murder. Trailer.
Train.
Trailer.
This is no ordinary train. This is the legendary Orient Express, witness to many strange adventures and foreign intrigues. From Istanbul to Calais. This is no ordinary passenger.
Monsieur Poirot is a detective.
This is the world's most celebrated crime fighter.
I take a professional interest in crime.
Agatha Christie's brilliant Belgian detective.
Belgians? I always thought you were French.
Albert Finney is Detective Hercule Poirot. This is no ordinary mystery.
Can't touch nothing.
This is Agatha Christie's most perfect crime. Murder on the Orient Express. Starring the greatest cast of suspicious characters ever involved in murder.
The murderer is with us now. You can identify the murderer?
Lauren Bacall,
I mean nothing of the kind. I mean there was a man in my compartment last night.
Monsieur,
Martin Balsam,
she did it.
Thou shalt not kill.
Ingrid Bergman, Jacqueline Bisset,
He makes it sound like a poison.
Jean-Pierre Cassel,
Monsieur Hercule Poirot?
Sean Connery,
How did you know? Beddoes.
John Gielgud,
Mr. Beddoes. He did it. The butler did it.
Wendy Hiller,
You never smile, Madame de Francis.
My doctor has advised against it.
Anthony Perkins,
Seems like I'm kind of incriminating myself.
Vanessa Redgrave,
Not now. Not now. When it's all over, when it's behind us.
Rachel Roberts,
And I
Richard Widmark,
show you this.
Michael York.
He did it.
The Who's Who in the whodunit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to my own reconstruction of the night of the murder.
Murder on the Orient Express.
I would love to see a version of Thomas the Tank Engine that's also Murder on the Orient Express. I think that could be fun.
I haven't, my kids never really watched a ton of it. I'm trying to think of a reference that you could swap out Orient Express for and bring it into the Thomas the Tank Engine universe, but I don't know well enough.
You ever watch Thomas the Tank Engine?
Here we go.
You watch something nowadays, what is it, huh? Nothingness, twists, violence, drama, no message. What's the point, huh? What are we supposed to learn? Everything I learned about people, I learned from Thomas.
Oh, you had to bring your sticker book, did
I
you?
always bring my stickers with me, you know that. Take Tangerine here. He's a Gordon. This blue one, and Gordon is the strongest, the most important, but he doesn't always listen to others.
What's that now?
I mean, some people are Edwards, wise, kind. Some are Henrys, hard-working, strong. Some people are Diesels. Fuck me. That was the trouble. You, though. You know, you seem like a Percy. Young, sweet, not ordered.
You finished, both of you.
Yeah.
All right, so Murder on the Orient Express, as I said, is a adaptation of an Agatha Christie novel. I believe there's only been 2 adaptations of this. I think there might have been a couple television adaptations, but there's only been 2 movie adaptations. There was this one by Sidney Lumet, and then the one from 2017 directed by Kenneth Branagh, which I actually liked quite a bit, and I had seen before I saw this. First, the biggest thing I will say before I ask you what you thought about it, the biggest thing that I found just mind-blowing about this movie was that this movie was made in 1974, when I thought it was significantly older.
Yeah, like 50s or 60s.
Yeah, even watching it, I'm like, this is 74, really? So, Nick, this is the first time for both of us, but I always like to ask you, what did you think of Murder on the Orient Express?
It was okay. I've been watching a lot of mystery murder whodunits lately, including Death on the Nile, the
new one.
The new one.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to.
The 2 Knives Out films, and then I actually did a little acting recently where I played Anthony Marston in another Agatha Christie story.
Was it 10 Little Indians?
Yeah, that was renamed, and then there were none. because of racism.
Yeah.
But yes, that. So I've had a lot of these little like connections, and I think the Murder on the Orient Express story, both this one and the 2017 film, I think personally I had a hard time following.
Both you had a hard time following both of them, or just this one?
Yes, both of them.
Okay.
I think Albert Finney's performance as Poirot is over the top and ridiculous. And I'm not saying that as a criticism at all. I just really wasn't expecting it. Like, I've never quite seen a crotchety dandy before, like character.
Oh, that should be my new username online, the crotchety dandy.
Crotchety dandy.
Oh, that's like a good pro wrestling name. The crotchety dandy, Nick Richards.
I'm the pacifist pugilist.
Oh yeah, I'll be the crotchety dandy.
There you go. I think one of the things that I actually really enjoyed the most from both this film and having acted in And Then There Were None were understanding the references in things like Death on the Nile and Glass Onion and these films that are clearly pulling from those previous generations of classic whodunits. Even Columbo, like I can see Peter Falk channeling Albert Finney's Poirot with some of the hand motions and the awkward pauses and things. Like I think he pulled from this Poirot. And so watching that kind of source material and going, oh, the way that car drove past the other car and almost ran it off the road, that's the motorcycle scene in Glass Onion, you know, or how also in Glass Onion when name's escaping me, the one from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dave Bautista?
When Dave Bautista's character died, I'm like, oh, that's clearly the Anthony Marston character. And so I got a lot out of that. Watching this Murder on the Orient Express, I think I adjusted my expectations where I hadn't when I first saw the 2017 one. And so me not being able to follow the narrative there, I think bothered me more. And I'm putting the blame on myself, not on the film. So when I watched this one, I kind of went, you know what? I don't need to follow it. I don't need to try and figure out who done it along with it. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the kookiness. And I think I enjoyed the film more watching it from that perspective.
Okay. So for me, when I saw the 2017 Murder on the Orient Express, and I actually really liked it. So I kind of had an idea of what I was getting into with this one. However, at the same time, I'm not familiar very, very much with the story, so I didn't know how much of what had happened in 2017. I didn't know how faithful an adaptation that was.
Sure.
Especially because, spoiler for if you haven't seen Murder on the Orient Express, when I saw the 2017 one, I thought the idea that they all did it
right
was just like, that seems, in my mind, I was like, that feels like a revisionist choice. Not realizing that was actually the ending. So it's like, as I was watching the original one, I was like, that's how I remember this ending. Let's see if this one ends the same way. I just really struggled to get into this one. And it's a shame because I really like murder mysteries. I really like...
And star-studded cast.
Oh my god, yes. I just found myself not caring. Because one thing, it's hard not to compare the two versions to get to each other, but there's really no way around it. Ultimately, this was even though it's on a train, it's a drawing room mystery where it's a lot of Poirot sitting down in a comfy chair, interviewing, asking questions, having a very thick accent, and just a lot of talking back and forth, which is not always a problem. But when there was a specifically like there was like a series of interrogations near the middle of the film where it was just one after another, and there was no change in blocking, no change in framing, no change in location. I stopped giving a fuck, because at least in the new one they would use different fucking carts, at least like different locations, try to change things up a little bit. And the accents were all really over the top and and kind of grating, because like Poirot, from what I understand, is kind of a goofy character,
right? Yep.
But like the way that Albert Finney plays him is just he manages to be an over the top dandy, as you said, who's also wholly uninteresting.
Pardon me, sir. I wonder if you could oblige me with a light.
Certainly.
Thank you. My name is Ratchet. Do I have the pleasure of speaking to Mr. Hercule Poirot?
The pleasure, possibly, Mr. Ratchet. The intention, certainly. You asked me for a light. I offered you one, and you have not used it. One can't deduce that without acute mental exhaustion.
That's wonderful. Sit down, sir.
For a moment.
Just for a moment. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like it feels like the really unpopular person who like puts everybody off, but then is in this is where my time to shine is. And I don't think that is Poirot. I think that is Albert Finney's interpretation of the character that I enjoyed. Is it Branagh's performance much more? And I liked Albert Finney. That's not a cut on his acting. I just think the choices were not for me.
And
that doesn't mean I wasn't entertained by him several times.
I definitely had some moments where I found myself amused by him. There was actually an essay by someone named Nathan Booth. He writes for a website called The Other Journal, and he wrote this little bit that kind of stuck out to me. He said, the detective story offers a number of problems for film adaptation. First, it is essentially a talkie genre. Page after page can be spent interviewing suspects, asking where they were and what they did on the night of the murder. The climax, too, is talk. The detective offers a reconstruction of the murder and, most importantly, of the way in which he or she discovered the killer. While this format works very well for a 45-minute episode of television, there is nothing very cinematic there. What's more, the golden age of detection put in a place a number of rules that seem bound to keep the form from leaving print. As S.S. Van Dyne insisted, the characters are to be simply ciphers, cogs in a machine for efficient plot delivery. They offer the actor, and so the audience, very little to grasp. Any audience identification is located in the detective and his companions, an identification most often built up over repeated formulaic encounters, much like audience identification with a character on television, and that understandably makes adapting Golden Age stories for the big screen a daunting task. So what he goes on to then say is what he thinks this movie does well is because none of the characters are interesting, and all they're doing is sitting around talking. How do you make that movie interesting? You cast big fucking stars in it. So then people want to come see them. But he
Tell me one memorable performance from that film. Either like with that cast,
they're all just
nothing really stood out.
And then he also says that the audience they identify with the detective. So the detective's our way of getting into this story.
Yeah,
I can 100%. The reason Columbo works is because of Columbo. The reason Magnum P.I. works is because of Magnum.
Yep. The Knives Out story is like
because of Benoit
Blanc. Like, how do you not love that guy? And yeah, that's
because I just really was not getting into Albert Finney in this role. I struggled with because the reason I liked the 2017 version is I really liked Kenneth Branagh as Poirot.
Yep.
Because like I said, you have Sean Connery in this movie, and he's boring as dirt, and he barely shows up. You have Ingrid Bergman, doesn't do much. You have fucking Anthony Perkins, which actually is probably the best performance in this movie.
Surprisingly, cast as somebody with mommy issues.
Yeah, go figure. You have Lauren Bacall, and just like none of them are doing. You have fucking Michael York. You have Basil Expedition from the Austin Powers movies,
right.
and he barely speaks. It's just like I don't like saying this, but I was just bored, and it's like, and I know this story, and I've watched the 2017 Bird and Orient Express at least 2 to 3 times, and I found myself liking it more and more each time. This one, it's like I'm bored. I just like it's like hell. There's tricks you can do in movies to lead the audience on. You know, you can use schmaltzy music to make them feel schmaltzy. You can, have really interesting sets and everything. I wish this movie would have used some of those tricks. I wish it would have had more schmaltzy music at times. I wish it would have had more interesting... Granted, I know it's a train, but at the same time, like, it doesn't have to be... Like, I've seen a lot of movies on trains. I actually really like movies set on trains for some reason. This was...
Mama's being thrown from them.
Yes. I just didn't find myself liking this one very much. And I will say, everyone's fucking accents. It's just too much for me.
The train setup in the 2017 one, that setting, like, I don't remember the film really well. I only saw it the one time in the theater. But I remember enjoying the setting. Like, it felt grand, it felt extravagant and exciting, and the views and the way that the train got stuck there felt dramatic. And I actually enjoyed the sequence where they were all getting onto the train when they were leaving the station, and goddamn did they like hit you with that was a dramatic train leaving the station moment. Yeah. They really sold that.
And it's funny, like that was one of my favorite bits from this movie was everyone getting on the train, and the way that each person's arrival at the train gave you some information about who these people are.
Yep.
In a way, very similar to that of Glass Onion.
Onion, I thought the same thing.
Ryan Johnson says that he had each character. The reason he had characters wearing masks at the beginning because it gave you an idea based on how each character wore their mask of who they are as a person. And I was like, oh shit. Granted, it's not masks and everything, but like the way that people, their outfits and their luggage and everything gave you an idea of who each one of these people are.
Yep.
One performance I do say I did like, actually, because like everyone in this movie is a good actor.
Yeah,
but doesn't
absolutely
mean that what they're doing is all that interesting. Hold on, I'm trying to look
and
at.
I think that goes back to the challenge that you were saying of like most of the characters have a lot to hide, so it's challenging to adapt a great mystery novel into, a really incredible film experience.
Richard Widmark, who played Ratchet, the big bad guy, essentially, old school cowboy actor. I really liked him in this because he just kind of had that slimy vibe about him in a way that worked. Though I do like it's. I find it really funny looking back at the 2017 version, the fact that they cast Johnny Depp in that role. Who would have thought that a couple years from then everyone would want to see Johnny Depp getting stabbed 12 times? Ooh. Anyways. But no, like Richard Widmark, he was one of my favorite. He was just the right amount of over the top, and if anything, that's what I wanted from this movie. I wanted these people to be. Their accents being over the top doesn't count. Like I guess I wanted some of these people to be a little bit bigger. Like I want Sean Connery to be bigger. Like
right, the princess
give me fucking
role.
Highlander Sean Connery.
Yeah, the princess role could have been a lot, but it was just kind of like, nope, nah, nope, and that's all you got out of that character was a couple of dismissive statements during the interview, and yeah, it was But then the one really over the top performance was the one that we needed to connect to, and it was over the top in a way that I wasn't able to connect with.
Because I feel like he was over the top the entire movie, but when I needed him to not be over the top, which is one thing that Branagh's version did really well once again, I just feel like it felt like a one-note joke that never went anywhere.
Yeah.
Once again, going back to Columbo, you have, with a worse actor, because the actor who plays Columbo, I can't think of his name at the moment.
Peter Falk.
Peter Falk. He is incredible. With an actor who's not on the level of Peter Falk, Columbo could have been a one-note joke.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the fact that it was over the top was not the issue. Benoit Blanc is over the top.
Yes, 100%.
Columbo's over the top. It's an accessibility issue. It wasn't a character that I felt like I could use as my lens for the rest of the film. Like, I didn't feel connected to that character enough. It felt like I was being pushed away from Poirot rather than pulled into Poirot.
And it's also a movie that, like I said, this movie was made in 1974. It's a movie that does not feel like it's 1974. The same year that this came out, here are the top 10 highest grossing films of 1974. To give you an idea: The Towering Inferno, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, good year for Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Earthquake, The Trial of Billy Jack, The Godfather Part 2, Airport 1975. Wow, disaster movies. Interesting. The Longest Yard, The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams, and Murder on the Orient Express. But some of the other movies that came out that year was like Chinatown. You had, as I said, The Godfather Part 2. So you had, Francis Coppola kind of like at his fucking height. You had these big ensemble disaster movies like The Towering Inferno.
Yeah.
Black Christmas came out that year. This movie just feels so old-timey in a way that doesn't necessarily work for me. As someone who likes old-timey movies.
Yeah, it's Christie and it's a period piece.
Death Wish came out that year.
Contributing to some of it, but
and
it feels like a BBC, like made for the BBC kind of film.
Yeah, like I wish it had a little more style to it and not just people sitting around talking. And it's not even the talking, because I like talking movies. I just wish they could have, the performances would have been stronger, or they could have found a more visually interesting way to do it or something.
The other real issue that I had with the film, and when you watch films from different generations, you need to, understand the lens and the times. But the racism in this film hit me a little harder than films of previous eras usually hit. Like, usually I can kind of hand wave it to a certain extent and say, understanding that was a different time where different things were considered socially acceptable, even if they were wrong, and I can move past it. But some of the comments in this film just got me in a particularly bad way that pulled me out of it.
I get it. That's kind of how I felt when we watched Airplane.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It just 1974 was a time in film when things were really getting shaken up. And yet I feel like this is a movie that my grandfather would have liked.
Yeah. Well, and I can say that about both this and the last film, or the film we did in the last episode, Weekend at Bernie's. I think they're films that one of their biggest issues is that they didn't age very well.
Yeah.
Less about the quality of the film when it came out and more about it didn't have staying power.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an abstract thing, and it's hard to actually quantify. But there are films in both of those, We Tend to Bernie's is a very late 80s film, and, you know, you were saying that you didn't feel like Murder on the Orient Express was very evocative of the 70s, but there are films from those eras that got better with age.
Yeah. And I guess...
those films are not those.
I guess what I'll also say, too, it's like, you know, case in point that I like talking movies. You know, I really loved, because I've watched it a couple times since we did it for this show. I really loved The Godfather.
Yeah.
And that was a movie that was just a bunch of people in rooms talking.
Yeah.
But I was like captivated, and because they found a way to add some style to what they were shooting, and once again, they allowed these performances to be interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, that article I was reading was pretty much just saying that, you know, how do you add style to a movie with no style? You add charismatic actors into these roles, and that's a great idea, but none of these actors are being their charismatic selves.
Yes.
And I'm actually really surprised that Lauren Bacall won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah.
Like, she's not bad, but... Or not Lauren Bacall. Ingmar Bergman. Actually, she was pretty good in this movie. Anyway, Ingrid Bergman. Regardless. Yeah, so it's not my favorite. It's... I don't know. 2 duds in a row on the Shameless Picture Show. It doesn't happen often.
Maybe we've just used up all of the good films on our Shameless.
Oh, I doubt that.
There's no more good cinema left. We've all the good ones.
We've watched it all.
No, I was actually surprised at... Honestly, if I'm being really honest, and this doesn't fare well for my whole philosophy on watching films, is I was expecting to not love Murder on the Orient Express. And I could rephrase that to say I had low expectations, and those expectations were met.
Yeah.
Where We Tend to Bernie's, I thought I would enjoy more, and that one let me down.
Yeah, I think I went in with a little bit higher expectations for Murder on the Orient Express, just because I did like the new one. And it's funny because I know a lot of people who really didn't like it, and I can't quite figure out why, because, you know, if you have a problem with the story, then you have a problem with the source material, and I just feel like it was directed in a more... And that's not to say I think Kenneth Branagh is a better director than Sidney Lumet. I think Sidney Lumet's made some incredible fucking films. It's nothing against Sidney Lumet. I just don't feel like this film worked.
It feels like it didn't... So everybody can be talented and skilled and did a good job, but there is still, in any kind of art, like a magic when things click. You know, when you get the right pieces together. Where all of the pieces, I think, are good. Christie's good. Director is good. Cast is good. Like, all of the pieces were good, just it feels to me like these pieces did not belong together.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a lack of that magic that makes something transcend the sum of its parts.
You know what this movie needed? Shirtless Dave Bautista.
How did we do that?
How the hell is this dude still alive?
He is not a dude. You're a dude. This is a man. A handsome, muscular man.
Oh, that was not planned at all.
No.
We just both want to see Batista shirtless. God.
Yep.
That's our American right, God damn it.
Well, I also think that it speaks to the... I have found that when you spend a lot of time with somebody, that your wavelengths start to kind of sync up. I think that's me and you starting to sync our thought processes.
We've been hanging out way too much.
No,
or not
such
enough.
Thing. Not enough. It's the beginning of the next level of friendship evolution.
There's gonna be just episode where we're just saying the same thing over and over again and just finishing each other's sentences. And...
like the twin ghosts in The Shining.
Yeah, pretty much. Just we're gonna be walking around in our blue dresses, holding hands. Oh, actually sounds kind of nice.
Hello and welcome to the Shameless Picture Show. I am your host.
I kind of like this idea.
Love it.
So yeah, like I said, I went into Murder on the Orient Express like hopeful, just because I do really like mysteries. I do like, it's a murder most foul. What's not to enjoy? And then I thought it was also like a weirdly amusing double feature with Weekend at Bernie.
I never thought of it that way. Yeah, there is some synergy there.
It's one's a murder mystery and the other one's a murder where there is no mystery.
I think you shuffle those two films together and you've got something.
Now, I honestly, I just want to contact Rian Johnson and be like, can you make a Poirot film, but, put Benoit Blanc in it instead, and just have it be Weekend at Bernie's?
Benoit Blanc, where the main source material is Weekend at Bernie's.
That would actually be really funny if Benoit Blanc is trying to solve this murder, but no one can know that the guy is dead, so he has to make sure that everyone believes he's alive while he's trying to solve it. Oh my god! This works.
Let's get his number. We will pitch it to him right now. Weekend at Bernie's, but Benoit Blanc.
And to make it even better, cast Bruce Campbell to play Bernie. So it's just Daniel Craig carrying around Bruce Campbell. With the same mustache. He has to have the mustache.
Yeah.
And the glasses.
Oh my god, I love it.
Because I could just see Benoit Blanc carrying around this guy being like, no one can know he did. Or, his Foghorn Leghorn deliveries.
I said,
no one can know he's dead.
Yes.
I need to watch Glass Onion again.
I've watched it 3 times so far.
I've only watched it the one time.
Every single time.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, it's so good. Well, yeah, another
banger of an episode. This one's even shorter than the last. You got anything else to talk about the Last of Us?
You're right. I could talk about the Glass Onion more. But I think, what did you gave this 3.5 stars. You were generous.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the 2017 one.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I gave this 2.
2. I gave it 2.5. So,
it might have been a 2.5 star movie, but at a certain point, I just couldn't focus on it anymore.
Yeah. Well, if it bores you, then
yeah. I thought, and because I thought, in good consciousness, I can't lower it less than 2 stars because it's still competently made film.
Sure,
it's still a well-made film. Even if I just think it's really boring.
A really well-made, boring film.
Yeah. Whereas Weekend at Bernie's, funny enough, is not a very well-made film, but it's at least entertaining, so it kind of evens itself out. That's how they both ended up with 2 stars.
Yep. And I think I gave them both 2.5 stars. So we were both consistent. I was maybe in a little bit more generous mood because our opinions synced up pretty tightly.
Funny enough, 2.5 stars is sometimes like the wild card for me. Because 2.5 stars I'll sometimes use as it's okay, but then sometimes I'll be like, it wasn't bad, but it's still not a 3. So I kind of 2.5 is kind of a catch-all sometimes.
Nice. I think 3 is which puts me at again a 0.5 star above.
Yeah. Well, I do more 3-star ratings than anything else. Yeah. But I get really my difference is if I'm 2.5 is sometimes that's not bad, but I kind of enjoyed it. 2 stars, it's that's not bad, but I don't think I enjoyed it.
But there are also 1.5 star films that I really enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's one somewhere on my letterbox that's just this is a dog shit movie, but I love it.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess that's all we got on Murder on the Orient Express.
And then what we can give them a little bit of a tease about what's coming next time.
Ooh, yeah.
Because we actually have it planned out.
And this is not a guarantee. We do also have some desire to throw in some surprises, or some, not even surprises. We have some things that we want to do episodes on that are not currently on the schedule.
Yep.
So if we say something's coming up next, it might not actually come up next.
Yeah, but
on the schedule,
planned next episode, we will be doing Willow. And then March 7th, we will be doing Spice World. Well, that's not release date. That's just when we're recording. We're going to be doing Spice World with my friend Josephine. It was her passioned request that we do it, and we're like, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'll watch Spice World. What the hell?
Spice World. And then I'm not going to give the entire season, just the next couple episodes. And then after that, the plan is to do the Tom Hanks classic, Mazes and Monsters.
Yes, I cannot wait. I think this is the episode that I'm most excited for. Not necessarily the film I think I'm going to enjoy the most, but I'm most excited to watch and discuss that
I'm really
movie.
excited to have Josephine on, because you haven't been on an episode yet with her, but
Correct.
she was on The Witch Who Came from the Sea and Audition, which I believe you listened to both of those, and they're pretty heavy movies to dig into.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much about Spice World. I have seen it. I'm just curious because she's one of. I'm saying this as if she's paying me to say it or something. She's one of my. I think has some of the most interesting perspectives on film. We don't always agree though, so I'm really excited that she's excited to talk about Spice World.
I can't wait.
Perfect. So you'll have to just keep listening to find out what's coming up in the rest of the season. It's going to be a great season.
It is.
I'm really excited. Like I said, I'm excited for an episode that we don't have planned yet, but I'm hoping to soon, of Hearts Beat Loud.
Yeah.
And then I still need to figure out where to put Raging Bull.
Right.
Because I really want to do that one. I'm torn. Oh, well, we can discuss it right here on the show. I'm torn between which movie to get rid of. House, or Hausu, that Japanese horror film. That's one option. But I've been wanting to watch that movie, so it's like, oh, do I take it off? The other one was the movie Mickey and Nicky, Elaine May's film with Peter Falk, but I'd hate to cut off one of the few films we have on here by a female filmmaker.
Yeah.
So oh man, what do I do?
Well, and I have not seen either of them, so whichever one we cut, we could do on a future season if we don't get around to fitting in the extra one.
Yeah.
And it'll just be from my shameless.
Yeah, because I've just been really wanting to watch Raging Bull, and while I could watch it at any time, I just feel like that's a movie that we could potentially really dig into.
That one, yeah, it feels like something that we could do a really good deep dive comprehensively on that movie.
Cut to us doing that episode, being like, remember that time where De Niro hit that guy? That was cool.
That was the punchy bits.
Yeah, that was good. Remember the time that Danny DeVito said that thing? Yeah, that was cool.
I do have
Joe Pesci. Danny DeVito's not even in that movie.
I'm gonna amazingly bring it back to The Last of Us for the wrap up here.
And then I have a Joe Pesci story before we wrap up.
Okay. Did you catch the Taxi Driver sequence?
Of course I did.
It was so on the nose. It was like, I'm sure they just showed that actress, go watch that scene and just do that.
Yeah. Confident. But, thankfully they didn't do the you talking to me bit.
Right.
But no, I actually have a Joe Pesci story. I love this story. I heard it on a podcast one time. No, it was a tweet, a series of tweets that this guy wrote, where this guy was saying, it's so when I was a young kid, he was 8 or 9, maybe 10 years old at max, when this happened, and Home Alone had just come out. And he fucking loved it. He's he was walking around, he was at the airport, he was going somewhere or going somewhere on vacation, and he saw Joe Pesci at the airport. And this 10-year-old little kid doesn't know anything about Joe Pesci other than he's in Home Alone. And he goes, you were in Home Alone. And he goes, yeah, kid, who's your favorite actor? And he goes, you are. He's like, damn right you are. Damn right I am. And he gives him $100 and walks away.
Holy shit.
You're damn right I am.
You You answered correctly, you little shit.
That's just how I hope that's how I want Joe Pesci to be. I just want Joe Pesci to be the human version of every character that he plays.
I also love the idea that, like, if that is a consistent thing that he does, that he just has a bunch of $100 bills in his pocket for whenever a kid comes up to him. Yeah, here you go.
I imagine Joe Pesci carries cash.
You're right.
I'm sure he's got plastic, don't get me wrong, but he seems like a man who carries cash. I imagine does not have a wallet, just has a money clip.
Folded in half with a rubber band around it.
Ooh. You know what? I imagine a money clip. Cause
Your money clip?
Going... Here you go, kid.
I do. You can see with all the rings on his fingers and flipping over the dollar bills. But you can do that with the rubber band, too. So I'm sticking with my rubber band.
Okay, Shameless, just let us know what you think. Does Joe Pesci use a money clip or a rubber band?
I think a social media poll can solve this.
Yeah, I'll have to get on that. So, Joe Pesci, rubber band or a money clip? Let us know in the comments wherever you listen to this. Go to cinepunks.com. Go to Shameless Picture Show. Find this episode. There is a comment section for every single episode.
And we'll have to come back to find out the answer to that at the Shame Station.
I think we should get rid of station because that's what's always tripping me up. It should be Shame Time, Shame Place.
Shame Time, Shame Place. Nope.
Yeah. Well, because Shame Time, Shame Station sounds it's too many similar sounding words.
Yeah. Shame Time, Shame Place.
Shame Time, Shame Place.
Shame Place. Okay, I think I can get there.
All right.
It's a tongue twister.
Shame Time, Shame Place, Shameless Picture Show.
Boom!
And if you come out and if you see us on the street and you tell us who your favorite podcast is, we won't give you $100, but we'll give you a sticker that I keep on me with a money clip.
That I will keep on me in rubber bands the right way. Both of which would ruin the stickers.
You get what you get, kid.
Goddamn right. The Shameless Picture Show is recorded in Milwaukee, Wisconsin and Easton, Maryland, and is hosted and produced by Nick Richards and Michael Viers. Today's episode was edited by Michael Viers. Our opening theme music was written especially for us by The Directionals, with narration by Zach McClain. The end credit music you're enjoying at the moment was generously provided by my friends in the band 10 Speed. The Shameless graphic design is masterfully done by Amanda Viers. An extra special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters and to our generous sponsors. We are on Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, Google Play, and Libsyn. You can find links for all these amazing people in the description below.